Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday. Welcome to Soulblight Gravelord's Day for one. But that said, that's not who we're talking about today on this show. Maybe a little bit, but not too much. Today's Nighthaunt Day. Saray, how are you doing?
Good. Happy Nighthaunt Day. Is that
Yeah,
every Saturday? Is it every weekend we work? Is that Nighthaunt Day?
yeah. I know. I'm excited. This is one of my favorite armies. And an army I play on stream often. So
Yep.
I'm super excited, and I think that they got some really strong rules here that I'm
Yeah.
excited to jump into. Now, before we do that, we like to do some rankings. So if you're new to this show, we like to kind of ease into the mood of whatever faction it is that we're discussing by ranking some of the miniatures. And quite frankly, what this really is, for lack of a better way of putting this, we rank every miniature ever in Age of Sigmar scientifically to see what is the
Yes.
best miniature, what is the top 10, the top 3, what have you. So we'll show you where we're at currently with our rankings. This is the current rundown here. Cue the science music, by the way, yes. We
Yes.
have
Cue science music.
Usharan is number 1, and Flesh Eater Court's Gore Warden sitting number 2. So the top 2 spots occupied here today by Flesh Eater Courts. Then we have Iridan the Witness, also known as Iridan the Snitch. And
Bitch.
then you can kind of see where it goes from there, and you can see how far we've gone. I'll go down a little bit. Then we get a nice page break since we're using pages, and then we have 13 and 14 down here. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at.
Yes. And yeah, we're gonna. The plan is to rank every single AOS model, every single one, not
Every
just.
single one.
Yeah, this is a long-term project. But let's do some science. Are you ready?
Let's
I'm
do
warming
some
my hands
science.
up to do
So
science.
we're gonna start off by talking about the three kind of new, for lack of a better term, the three new ones that we want to cover, right? And
Yeah.
so who we want to cover today is yeah, who we're trying to cover today here. Sorry, I'm just checking one thing.
Here.
Yeah, I'm just checking to see how our stream is doing. I'm seeing,
Some warning lights.
yeah, there we go. Okay, I guess that's okay. Looks like we're back. All right. I don't know if you guys had a hiccup. I had a little bit of a hiccup. The other really funny thing that's going on, we had some weird bugs today to start the stream. The other really funny thing is, since we started a little late, Meg came in from a run and closed the door to the studio, but Bartok's in here, and he's going absolutely bonkers over there. I hope Meg might be watching. I don't think she is and can let him out, but he is going crazy. It is driving me crazy. Okay, so we've got number 1 here, Black Coach. We're gonna go through them, talk, and then rank them. That's kind of the system
Yes.
here. Okay, so we've got Black Coach. This is the Humble Chain Rasp. We've been kind of doing
Humble,
this.
yes.
Yeah, we've been kind of doing this. We've been trying to basically include like something that is like a real basic version of the faction army thing. So I'm just trying to send Meg text while I'm talking. Okay, so
That's, yeah.
here he is. Here he is. Oh my god. Next we have Kurdos. I forget his last name. It's like Valen.
Atlantean, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, we have Kurdos, and those are the 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we start with Kurdos? Kurdos, what do you think about this model, Saray?
It's pretty cool. I mean, I think I'm gonna be real. The first time I ever seen this model was today on Warcom. I don't think you don't have this guy painted up, do you?
I don't. I do have him in a box, and we're going to
Right.
talk about him a bit today. But he, how do you feel about it now that you have seen it?
It's cool. I like when models bring their friends. I'm a big fan of multi-model bases. So like
Yeah.
the Silent King, stuff like that. So that's very scientific. Also, he's floating off the ground, which is scientific. That's scientifically good. And so mark that down in your notes.
Scientifically good. Yeah.
Yeah, scientifically good.
It's a cool model. Like you said, I don't have it yet. He has some funny lore. He's the Craven Throne King. And I think basically in life he did something cowardly, even though he was the king and got a bunch of people killed. And now here he is in death. I know that there's like some fun lore centered around crossbows, where like whenever Kurdos like goes in to try to get like an epic kill, the crossbows like are like almost kind of like his curse, and they'll like shoot
they kill
the
him
target.
instead.
They kill him right before he can like have the satisfaction of having this like epic kill. I think that's pretty funny. Okay, where
does that guy have a little horn?
What's that?
Does that guy have a horn? The guy on the left? See, like
a horn,
tooting
like
little horn?
like a bugle, like a sack butt, if you will.
All right, that's very highly scientific. That's one of the most scientific instruments. So,
all right, I
that's gonna rank high for me.
I think I know where I would put this guy. Where would you put this guy?
I'm feeling like a new number 4.
A new number 4. Yeah, for sure. I think number 4. I think I realize this one problem that sometimes happens, and I'm just going to be honest with you. I think it's a Saray problem. Okay, ready? I'm going to call you out. I don't think you actually think the Gore Warden is better than Iridan the Snitch.
You don't think so?
I don't think you think so. I think you think Iridan's better than the Gore Warden. And
I think Iridan when he's painted like Golden Demon is cooler than the Gore Warden.
Okay.
But I forgot that the actual Iridan the Snitch model is like not that dynamic.
Okay. So we're putting him 4. The reason I bring that up is because I'm worried that we've inadvertently created a high threshold to entering the top 3, because I feel like this guy's better than the Gore Warden, I would probably put this guy 2, but I think that you're 2 and 3. I think you want to switch 2 and 3, but I'm not. I'm gonna let you sit on it for a few days.
No. I think it's look. It doesn't matter what I think. It's science. Scientifically, the Gore Warden is cooler than Iridan.
Okay.
You can't beat.
All right.
The numbers.
Okay. It is science after all. Okay, Kurdos, V, number 4. Okay, what about Black Coach?
Ooh, I'm kind of conflicted on this one. I don't like that they call it a war machine, because a carriage is not a war machine. However,
that's true.
However, we don't have many means of like almost normal transportation present. So that kind of makes it one of a kind, right?
Okay.
So I'm gonna say, I don't know. What do you think? This is pretty hot. I feel like this is. I don't know where to put it.
What I like to do, So I'll be honest with you. I'm not like. Again, another thing is that I don't particularly think the Brutair model is that good. I think he was really good back when we first did Skaven on day 1, but there's a lot of things here that I think outrank him, and frankly, for me, this would be one of them.
Do you think this is better than the Brutair?
I do. Yeah, look at this thing. The horses are starting to lift off like a Santa Claus. You got the vampire in the back there. You got the attendants rushing around with it. This thing is floating, by the way, off of the base.
Oh, that is scientific.
It is floating.
Well, what's more scientific, floating horses or a science experiment, which is what a brood horror is?
Oh, I think for sure floating horses are more scientific than a science experiment.
You think so?
No. I guess not. I guess. What do you think? Snarlfang? Is it a new number 6?
I think it could be number 4. I think despite.
It's better. Oh, wow. You like it more then? You would put it here?
Yes, I like it more than Curdon.
Oh, okay. All right, now we have the Humble Chain Rasp.
Man.
It's an interesting It's an interesting model because it's not the Nighthaunt's best work. As far
No.
as a little 25 millimeter model goes, of which there are not too many left in the game, I think it's pretty good. You want to have a little
Yeah.
25 millimeter ghost, it's good. I'll say like this: if you had like ghosts, and ghosts are actually pretty scary in D&D. I think I don't think that's like you fight a ghost at like level 1 or anything, but like if you wanted some kind of ghost models in your D&D games, these guys would be amazing. They're probably going to be better than anything you're going to get from Reaper. But as far as the rest of the Nighthaunt line, and what else is on a 25 millimeter? Like that's its own interesting ranking. Steel helm. It doesn't really hold up to a steel helm, does it?
I mean, someone's got to be the little guy, and I think these are pretty good for that.
Do you think it's better than a clan rat?
Yes,
Do you
but
think
not
it's better,
but not much better.
Do you think it's better than a Loon Smasher fanatic?
I mean, personally, yes.
Okay, but
But what does the science say? I mean, I'll say this: it does a great job of looking like it's floating, which is
You like that?
pretty amazing.
So where do
For
you
a basic infantry model, it's pretty great.
Yeah. So where do you put this guy?
I think this is new number 10. It's not cooler than Bastion.
There he is. Okay, we did it, folks, at home. We did the ranking. This means we get to move on to the real topic of the day. And we're going to talk about Scourge of Ghyran. We're going to talk about the Nighthaunt today. Let's see where we're at. Let me grab me a browser window here. The right browser window. Okay. Nighthaunt. We have... Actually, let me grab this too. And let me grab that one.
We're gonna show us the download page.
Download page. Super cool. Okay.
All right, while you're doing that, I'm gonna catch up with chat. What's chat talking about?
Yeah.
Some things you just don't say. But what did Barry say? The coach is very scientific, Appleberry. What's up, Polychrome? You missed the shitty. Look, science is not shitty.
Polly is
it's just science.
Yeah, he's not a learned man. That's okay. We forgive him.
It's okay. We forgive him. Besides his shortfalls,
we get a cool picture, some cool art, some cool photography. Kurdos Valentinian is one, and the Black Coach is the other. We're going to be looking at here today. They talk about this, basic stuff. Points. The Black Coach has gone up 40, and I believe Kurdos is actually the same price. So, off the top of my head, I don't know his points. Okay, we do not get anything else in today's article about like how the new General's Handbook is going to work or anything like that. But we do get a little bit of a teaser as to what's going to be on tomorrow. I will have to narrow it down and talk about what we think is getting covered tomorrow, because it says next up is Cities of Sigmar.
Yeah.
What do you think tomorrow's going to be, Saray?
Dark Oath.
Dark Oath. The real cities. Punked. We got punked by Matt Rose. Okay. Folks, I think that these are some of the wildest rules to date.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, also, we can start talking about the Nexus of Grief today, but GW hasn't actually posted anything about the Nexus of Grief. But Goonhammer did. We know that we're allowed to, and so we also are going to share some Nexus of Grief stuff with you. This first one won't make a ton of sense until you see what the Nexus of Grief can do. But just be aware that Hungry Nexus battle formation lets you move at the end of the enemy turn. It lets you move a Nexus of Grief 3 inches. Can move into combat, but cannot end that move, terrain feature or whatever, okay? So what I'll say is this one will make a little more sense when we come back to it. I will just say that one thing to keep in mind is that the Nexus of Grief one of them can teleport a turn, and when it teleports, it can teleport outside of 3 of an enemy unit. And when it's within 3 of an enemy unit, it shuts down command abilities. So what I'm trying to say is this battle formation is a fancy roundabout way of basically kind of over the course of your opponent's turn and then your own turn, putting a Nexus of Grief in combat with the enemy unit, therefore shutting down command points. Commands. So we'll look a little bit more and we'll reference this when we get there, but I want to go through the rest. Death Rust Geist. This one is also really good, and it continues this trend of saying, what if we gave a battle formation for that just is all around good? This is kind of all around good, but not broken. You don't need to take specific units for this one to work or anything like that. It just works on all Nighthaunt units. Pick an enemy unit that is in combat with any friendly Nighthaunt units to be the target. Subtract 1 from save rolls for the target for the rest of the turn. This is once per turn in the enemy hero phase. So in the enemy hero phase, you're going to look at an existing fight that you have going on with the enemy, and you're going to say, those guys have -1 to their save.
Yeah.
Now, it's not just -1 to save from one unit. It's -1. It's -1 to that target save. You want to shoot them.
Yes.
You want to spend a CP to shoot them. -1 there. You want to do a counter charge, get another unit in. -1 against them. This is really strong. And what it accomplishes is very thematic, Saray, in this way that's like, well, my 5 Chaos Knights are in combat with 20 Dreadscythe Harridans or Bladegeist Revenants, and he just gave them -1 to their save. And so are they spooked? Are they scared? Are they scared by ghosts? Do they need to run away? Like, that's kind of what it...
I mean, it's right. It makes me as a player think, those ghosts got a lot scarier. Maybe instead of staying in this fight, maybe I'll retreat this turn instead.
Right. It is pretty interesting. Is it better than any of the ones currently? I'm going to say it's just as good. I think it's really up there. The problem with the Nighthaunt ones is since they fixed Deathstalkers, they're all pretty much about the same, and they're all pretty good. I think this one actually joins that. The other one, Hungry Nexus, I'm not sure yet. I think it might be kind of a tier down, along with the Emerald Host one that just does D3 mortals to heroes. So we'll see. I'm willing to be proven wrong on those. Okay. Artifacts of Power. This might be a good time to mention something. At 11 a.m. Pacific time, an hour and a half from now, we are playing a game on our channel, something we do. And it will be John playing new Soulblight Gravelords, and I'm actually going to be playing Nighthaunt. This first artifact is actually the artifact that I think I'm going to be taking on my Guardian of Souls. Staff of Suffering. 3 new artifacts, all pretty good. One thing, this is exactly what we needed. Current Nighthaunt artifacts are all 3 pretty bad. Hard to say which one is the best one, but I think it's once per game, 12-inch bubble +1 attack for all Nighthaunt units. That's called the Light Shard of the Harvest Moon or something like that. That's probably the best one currently, but it is a once per game effect. You got to set it up. It's got to be wholly within 12. Means you're probably affecting one unit that really matters, giving Harridans or Bladegeist Revenants +1 attack. Pretty good. Okay, here we go. Staff of Suffering. While this unit is within 12 inches of any damaged enemy units or enemy units that have had a model slain, add 1 to casting rolls for friendly Nighthaunt units while they are wholly within 12 inches of this unit. Okay, so I'm going to put this on a Guardian of Souls. He is a wizard. And then he's going to hopefully be somewhat near Lady O so that they can both have +1 to cast. This is really nice for the way my army works with Dreadscythe Harridans because I want to be dealing with injured units that have had models slain anyway. So this is sort of just further synergy into that. The Tombstone of the Pentient is also very good. Passive. Add 1 to the attacks characteristics of this unit's melee weapons for each non-faction terrain feature that is being contested by friendly units to a maximum of 8. Okay. Sounds really good.
What?
Sounds really good. John's in chat saying it's really good. And it is good. The problem is, remember, this is not a monster army. And again, it might not affect, this wouldn't affect companion weapons anyway. This is an infantry army. and a cavalry army. So this is going to affect the best candidate for this is probably going to be either the executioner, who's a little squishy,
Hmm.
or it's going to be the Knight of Shrouds or the Knight of Shrouds on Ethereal Steed. All a little squishy, all not that killy. I think on the executioner, it's pretty interesting. For context, I'll pull up his war scroll super fast here.
I'm trying to think of like what is the most terrain you can have on a GW approved board.
Well, you're supposed to put for competitive. You put 8 pieces down, and then there's faction terrain. Today,
Which doesn't count in this case.
it doesn't count, so it is 8.
Interesting. So likely you're talking probably 2 or 3 extra attacks. And this you have the mobility with this army to tag into terrain, and as Polly pointed out, you can hold multiple pieces of terrain with one unit if you can stretch out, and you have large units for in this army. So.
I don't know if that's true, Polly. I know that I'm pretty sure the current ruling is that each unit can hold 1 terrain piece and 1 objective. I don't know that.
I thought they changed that. Did they not change that recently?
I don't know, maybe. So mostly we're talking about this is kind of Lord Executioner is 5 attacks, anti-hero. All Nighthaunt have crit auto wound on 6s, right? 3/3 Ren 2 damage. So this guy could go to 13 attacks, 3s Ren 2 damage. I guess my
not
point,
insane, but
not insane. I guess my point is that kind of outside of Reikenor, who gets +1 damage on the charge, he goes up to damage 3, but can't use this because he's a named character. There aren't super hard hitting candidates for this. In the Nighthaunt army. That's the thing. It looks crazy. If this was being given to like an ogre foot character, or something like that, it would just be toned down. It would be like +1 attack or +2 attack. So even though it does look kind of scary and looks fun, I think that's what it is. I think it's fun and pretty cool. I like the Knight of Shrouds on Ethereal Steed. I think this is fun for him. Okay, last one, Amulet of Waking Nightmares. This one's also good, but it's a 3-up ability. And also has a little bit of a problem. Pick a visible enemy hero unit with an 18. Roll a die on a 3+. For the rest of the turn, it cannot be affected by the Guarded Hero ability or the Obscuring Terrain ability. Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't you ignore that with crossbows anyway?
So that's the issue. Okay. So the issue here is, if this is on KO, it's quite interesting. Yeah. But we have 2 shooting units, Pyregeist, which aren't particularly good at shooting, but they're okay. And then we have some of the characters have little shooting attacks here and there. The non-variant Black Coach, which after today no one will ever take, has a shooting attack. But for the most part, this army has little shots here and there. The only true shooting unit is crossbows, and they already ignore this anyway. So, confused or, hear me out, anticipating some kind of new release. And as Brad has talked to me about recently, there are so many unknown rumor engine pictures that appear to be Nighthaunt hands. And there's like candles, and there's also candles, which is like a Nighthaunt thing. So, and it looks like it's like a machine. So, Brad has this hope for the army. He kind of was saying he hopes we don't get a monster. He wants this to be like War Machine army, like infantry and War Machine army, like no monsters.
I hope it's a bigger carriage.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know what I want. I think I was telling you I want like a Enigma machine. Like
just a random. We don't know what it does. It's just.
I want like it's a box of like gears and stuff, and there's like a bunch of Nighthaunt swarming around it, like pulling the things, and it shoots and
It just shoots stuff.
So okay, here's what I think of these before we move on. personally. Nighthaunt fans, I'm not sure how you guys are feeling. I Staff of Suffering is really good. Nighthaunt have otherwise no pluses to cast. Lady O doesn't have a plus to cast. She's a 2-cast wizard, named character, but no plus to cast. That happens. Belladama's the same way.
Yeah.
And their spells are kind of great. They have great spells. The lore is really good. It's just up and down three very useful spells.
Right.
So I think that's the standout for me. It does come with conditions, but the conditions on the flip side are that it can give 2 or multiple wizards, if you have 3, +1 to cast, as long as they're kind of near each other. I like this. I think Tombstone of the Pentient and Amulet of Waking Nightmares, if you're not super familiar with the Nighthaunt book, you look at those and you go, wow, those are really good. But then when you realize who they're going to be going on, you're like, Amulet of Waking Nightmares hardly makes sense in the current book. And Tombstone of the Pentient is cool, but I just don't think that you're going to pass up Staff of Suffering unless you're not taking wizards.
Yeah.
In which case...
I mean, look, if someone wants to change... Look, I'll give you my all of Slaves to Darkness. I'll give you our entire manifestation lore if you give us Tombstone of the Penitent. You can have the whole lore. Just give me this one artifact of power.
I mean, you pretty... what's he called? Demonic Steed guy is basically a Varen guard. So, right, like, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I'll take an Exalted Hero. With the do 13 attacks.
He would be with this.
You know. I'll take it.
Okay, so that's pretty good. But even more interesting is these. So, yeah, no surprise. We like to cover the units that are getting... shown off or in our rankings. So you saw these guys. Kurdos. Right. Okay, let's talk about him. He's currently not super worth it. He is one of the few sources of 3 damage in the book. His 5 attacks, 3/3, Rend 2/3 damage. His new rules. Okay, 1, add 1 to hit and wound rolls for his combat attacks. If he is targeting something that has worse control than he does. He's control 5, which is kind of interesting because he's not a monster. This means against a lot of targets, he will hit and wound on 2s. 5 attacks, hitting and wounding on 2s, Rend 2, 3 damage. Hey, that's pretty good. I mean, like, you'd be happy to have that team up alongside... sorry, I think it was just the compressor was on for a second. You'd be happy to have this guy fighting alongside Bladegeist or anything where you're like going all in on your opponent. He is a character, so keep in mind when he charges, he can pass out fight last.
Oh, so, right.
So this guy and 20 Bladegeist Revenants or 20 Dreadscythe Harridans, they're both fighting before you. So like that picks up, and these guys, I already am feeling pretty decent about the damage, say 20 Dreadscythe Harridans that are hitting and wounding on 3s, Rend 1 damage, 3 attacks each, are going to do to say 10 Chosen. But add this guy in, and now I'm feeling like the Chosen are either going to be dead or there might be 2 or 3 of them left. And they're not going to do
much you feel much better with that damage 3.
Right. So I like him. And then his second ability, if he's in combat, this is a really good ability. If he's in combat, pick a friendly visible Nighthaunt unit within 12. You don't have to roll die. One of these things just happens. Their weapons get anti-hero +1 Rend. Devastating against...
That's good, yeah.
Devastating against something big like Archeon or something like that. You just passed out fight last, too. Remember that. You just passed out fight last. Usharon. Going into Usharon. Crazy. Fight last.
Good night, Usharon.
Right. Usurpation of Larceny. Add 5 to their control score. I mean, the cool thing about that is if you need it, you're going to know. You're going to look and you're going to be like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. I'm not touching that unit. That's tagging into the objective. So let's just go ahead and be safe and do 5 to control. By the way, keep in mind, Lady O nearby, -3 to your opponent's control score. So you can swing this kind of aggressively. Last but not least, sedation and betrayal. Enemy units cannot use commands while they are in combat with this unit. Also really good. These are all really good. By the way, you don't need to roll 3 up to make one of these happen. You just get to pick.
Yeah, I mean those are all great. Enemies cannot use. I mean, there's a lot of you can't use commands.
Yeah, it is currently a Nighthaunt thing. They're not the Tomb Banshee can do this as well, and it makes sense. It's a scary thing. It's like, oh, I'm scared, right? I'm too scared to all-out defend. I'm too scared to all-out attack. That's the
Yeah.
Right. I think it's interesting, and by the way, I like this. We don't have bravery as a characteristic anymore, right, Saray? So I like this as a.
Yeah,
I
no
like
leadership
this
or anything.
right. I like this on Nighthaunt. I like no commands as like this is fear, right? Fear is now you can't use commands. I mean that's what roar was in 3rd edition when a monster would roar you, right? Kurdos is looking pretty good in my opinion. I did pick one up a while back, and I just haven't gone to him yet because he's not that good. But this is quite good. Yeah. I really cool. For under 200 points, by the way.
Yeah. Quite decent.
Okay, now I think we got to currently
Buried the lead, right?
In a week
Buried the lead.
In 4 books or in 4 releases for 4 different factions. I think we have hit the undisputed winner here. The black
biggest
coach,
blow up.
The black coach has gone from something that you look at and you're like, well, it's kind of cute, and it's a very big utility piece currently. It can teleport, it can zap for some mortals, it has a nice little shooting attack, to, frankly, a buffing beat stick. Its role has completely changed. And this is really, really strong when you remember that one of the Nighthaunt subfactions, Procession of Death, is Nighthaunt units wholly within 6 of a black coach get a 5 up ward instead of a 6 up ward.
Yep.
This now, currently the black coach currently wants to be by itself and zip around the board. Like I said, it can teleport every turn, every your turn. It doesn't do that anymore. It just moves. It moves
Not anymore.
It's fast, and it replaces Dread Scythe Harridans or Bladegeist Revenants. It replaces things that do damage. Those are the 2 things that really do damage. With the Scepter, the Scythe guys, also like pretty good. You now have a War Machine beat stick. Pretty fun.
Yeah.
Its output.
On the charge, hits the Wraith Spectral weapons hit as hard as Kurdos.
Yeah, keep in mind also for this unit, remember, Nighthaunt can charge in the charge phase in their own turn, or in an opponent's turn if they're already in combat.
Yeah.
So in other words,
you're gonna get that charge, that
thing,
+1 charge damage.
This thing is charging every turn.
Yeah.
And you can spend 2 CP to have it charge in your opponent's turn if you have it, which I think is a little rough. But okay.
Now it's and then the second the Iron Shod wheels 8 attacks, force 3, 2/2.
Quite good.
Pretty crazy.
Also good. This thing is nasty. Okay, and then just when you're like, wow, that's pretty good, let's talk about its abilities, of which it has
And the abilities are so good.
And each ability is also like 3 abilities. Okay, first one, Spectral Attendants. Once per turn, so you can't do this with double
Black Coach.
Yeah. Once per turn. Okay, pick one of them. Again, no 3-up roll. Noble Blade. This unit's weapons, including companion weapons, switch from crit auto wound to crit mortal.
It's fucking insane.
So,
like legit, is this like the strongest single piece in this army now?
I think its damage output will still not be as good as Dread Scythe Harridans.
Oh yeah. I mean, as a single model,
single piece. Oh, absolutely. Not even
monster.
Close. Yeah. Okay. Unholy Grail, also really good. Friendly Nighthaunt unit within 12. What's that?
Good name.
Yeah.
Monty Python and the Unholy Grail.
What's cool about this, by the way, just just so we're clear, is that there are 3 attendants on a black coach, if you remember the picture.
Yeah.
One is carrying a sword, one is carrying a grail, and one is carrying a tome. So that's what's happening here.
That's happening.
Yeah, one of the attendants is doing his thing. Okay, Unholy Grail. 3. You don't roll extra rally dice. You get 3 extra rally points. Hey, that's 3 Dread Scythe Heritance.
Crazy.
So when I rally Dread Scythe Heritance, so first I'm gonna no rest for the Wicked Dread Scythe Heritance, D3 plus 3. Then I'm gonna rally Dread Scythe Heritance, which by the way I can save a CP on, what's it called? No rest for the Wicked, because now I just get a 5 up ward when I'm near this thing if I take Procession of Death. So now I can rally. So I'm getting a minimum of 7 Dread Scythe Heritance back, and it could be as many as like 14.
Nuts.
It's nuts. Okay, last but not least, Tome of Undead Lore turns into a wizard. What? So good. This is like, you're gonna sit here wondering what you do each turn with one of these.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane to me that I'm sitting here thinking, wow, turning him into a wizard is maybe the least interesting thing to me.
Yeah.
Think about how powerful that is.
It's turn 1.
Think about how much just a regular wizard 1 character costs. Yeah. That's at least a 100-point model.
Yeah.
You can just turn him into one.
Right. He can be a wizard. If he's near a Guardian of Souls, he can have a +1 to cast.
It's crazy.
And keep in mind, their unlimited spell is cast on a unit, give him -1 to wound. One of your Nighthaunt units is -1 to be wounded. That's the unlimited spell. So this is what he does.
But somehow we're not done.
Somehow we're not done. Actually, there's 2 more abilities.
They're trying to move these black coaches, man.
Yeah. Okay. Once per turn, any hero phase, including your opponents, pick an objective you do not control. While enemy units are contesting the objective, they cannot score critical hits while this unit is also contesting it. I feel like this one was just thrown in as like, fuck it, why not? Let's try this new rollout. Where should we try it out, Matt? I don't know. Put it on the black coach.
We just gave ourselves crit mortals. Let's make sure no one else gets crit mortals.
Dude, like, this is its least good ability. By the way, I'll be real fast with the next one. It charges 3d6.
Oh, sure. Okay.
I don't know what to say about this. It's 280 right now. I think it's probably worth 310, maybe 320.
It's nuts.
It is nuts. Unfortunately for today's game, we don't have a black coach to use. Hey guys, we have 2. Megan and I totally painted 2 black coaches yesterday. Get fucked, John. We're bringing 2 black coaches against the Soul Blight today. It's going to be fun. John's got some nasty stuff too, but we're going to have a nasty death off game a little bit later today. Double black coach.
John might actually die in this game.
Prince Vordry. All kinds of Blood Knights. It's going to be nasty. Also, John, just FYI, for funsies, I picked the Vice as the mission. I thought that would be the most fun. Now, the one thing to remember about the black coach is that it's 2 amazing abilities, especially Spectral Attendants. Only 1 black coach can do that per turn. So you can't
yes, but also I want to point out that it's any hero phase, so it's every hero phase you do.
It is every hero phase. It is every hero phase.
Crazy.
Both these abilities are every hero phase.
Yeah. That's nuts.
Now, here's the other thing I want to point out. The black coach does not have an insane amount of health, which is good. I would be genuinely concerned about even taking this thing on the board if it had something like 16 health. Now, yeah, they have their Endless 4-up save and a 6-up ward and can have a 5-up ward. But what I want to point out is that 4-up ward models, as we know, this unit is vulnerable to 1, mortals, and 2, just volume of attacks. If you can get good volume of attacks in on this thing, you're going to bring, i.e., another unit of Dread Scythe Heritance, Witch Elves, Ard Boys. I mean, I would be like, have reservations sending this thing into combat with Ard Boys, because I'm just like, well, they can get up to 3 attacks pretty easily. Yeah. If they're hitting on wounding on 3s or wounding even on 2s, I'm like, yeah, this thing's gonna fall apart pretty quick. But as far as just going into it and picking it up by looking at it, absolutely not. Like you're gonna have to put something into this thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you bring two of them.
Now I will say this: people have been asking for a monster in Nighthaunt. This is the metaphorical monster that we.
Yeah,
have
this thing is going to haunt your nightmares.
This thing is very, very nasty. And listen, it should be. I mean, like, they have only ever given us horde options to be hammers, and I like that we now do have this other war machine option to be kind of a hammer. Last thing I'll say about this that also makes it really suck to play against. Remember that when Nighthaunt charge you, they pass out a rule. Mostly, that's if they outnumber you or infantry, they pass out -1 to hit. Characters pass out fight last. Cavalry and war machines pass out -1 to your save. So everything that's happening to you from this black coach that says Ren 2 might as well be Ren 3.
Ren 3. You don't even need crit mortals anymore.
Yeah, to be honest with you, the crit mortal one is kind of pointless.
I mean, I guess if you're warning about wound rolls, potentially wounding on 3s, you could drop some dice there, but
yeah. Now you can only do that one place on the battlefield as well. So it's and again, I could be also charging somewhere else with a Knight of Shroud on Ethereal Steed or Hex Wraiths, and they need to have that. So it's not going to happen everywhere, but these guys can trigger that ability. Okay, today, Sir, thoughts before we look at our next topic here today.
I think this is the biggest glow up we've seen for anything in Scourge of Ghyran.
It's a big wowie wow. I don't get it. I'll be honest with you. I do not take glee in having things in my army get really scary powerful. That said, I will be taking 2 of them against John today. But that's just for you guys to see at home. But I here's actually what I think about this. I don't think it's too powerful. I think it's too cheap. It went from 240 to 280. 240, sadly, is probably too expensive for what the Black Coach currently does. It should probably be like 210. The current Black Coach. This thing is probably like 100 points more than what the other one is. This is probably like 310. And, there's a world in which there are 2 very distinct pilots of this. One is a Karn Wraith, and the other actually looks like a Guardian of Souls. There's a world in which they just make these both
separate things.
2 separate units and just charge dramatically different. And I guess that is kind of what they're doing. But the points differentiation needs to be way more. And this thing needs to go up to at least 300. But honestly, I think 320, maybe 310. And the other one probably still needs to come down in points for what it does.
I'm as I'm looking at this, what you got for the Black Coach is what I want for my Demon Prince.
Yeah.
Give me the Scourge of Ghyran. Look, make the Demon Prince this good.
Yeah.
Or the Wilder Fiend even. I don't know. This is insane.
The Wilder Fiend definitely needs a glow up. Those would be 2 great models for a glow up, actually, for Slaves of Darkness.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see what you have, and I want it for myself.
We will be running 2 of these in today's game. Meg and I painted 2 up yesterday. I think the paint job we did for tag teaming for 1 day's of work. One of these was new in box at 1 p.m. yesterday. The other one, Saray had assembled 2/3 of it like 6 months ago. And Meg and I just like sat here and we're just like boom and just like cranked out, and they look pretty good, I think. Sunday, I think on the stream, I think we're doing this Sunday on the hobby stream. We're actually gonna set them each take one and finish up some details and kind of talk about how for the channel we get things ready real quick for the game, and then how we go back and we make sure that they're ready for photography and such. Okay.
Polychrome saying Slaves of Darkness are getting Dark Oath. We don't have any advanced information, but I feel like that's where the wind is blowing.
That would be good.
It would, yeah. I mean, it's what needs the help the most. But I feel like the thing with Dark Oath is they just keep trying to push them, and they just can't figure it out. Because like they have their own battle formation in the book, they have their own regiment of army of renown, and neither of them are very good.
So they'll get it though. They'll get it. They don't need to, right? Like, what are they? They're witch elves that aren't as fast, don't hit as accurately, but are cheaper. I mean, that's what they are. Like, take witch elves, make them a little worse, and charge less points for them. That's it.
Yeah,
They don't
I
give
mean,
them
what they're
a-
going to do is, as you and I have theorized, that they're just going to become the new Beasts of Chaos.
Yeah,
Super tricky.
I think so too. I think they're going to basically be a proxy over the coming years for Beast of
Yeah.
Chaos. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about the Nexus of Grief. GW hasn't put these rules up yet, but we are allowed to start talking about them. So we figured we would work up a little graphic here and talk about what this thing does. First of all, it is the same kit as the Cursed Sepulchre. In today's game, we did not get this ready in time. It was funny. We had the Cursed Sepulchres for Soulblight, and Meg and I were kind of setting up the game earlier today, right before this show. And I said, it's funny, Meg. I actually emailed Andy at GW, and I said, "Hey, Andy, could I get a second set of these because I want it for the Nighthaunt?" And I was like, I didn't hear back from him. And then Meg opened up the door to go for her run, and it was sitting right there. So we do have a second set of these, and I will paint them up really fast so that we have the Nighthaunt set. We'll
Listen, they're technically two different kits. It's a Nexus of Grease and then the Sepulchres.
Yeah, if you're curious,
you can't be the same.
If you're curious about how these two kits are different, right? If you're curious about how the two kits are different, I'll talk a little bit about the kit later today. But the houses and the bases that you see here are very interchangeable. That's really cool. They give you coffins to put in if you want, or there's a pit, and the pit is like an unmarked grave with several skeletons in it. It's pretty cool.
That's gruesome. Actually.
It is gruesome. Finally, if you as a modeler hobby wise, if you're curious about the difference between doing it Nighthaunt or doing it Soulblight, it's very little. What I can tell you is there's two major differences. The Nighthaunt one, the exterior is largely brick.
Yeah.
And the Soulblight one, it's marble. And I think that speaks to the essentially class aspect of these two factions, where Soulblight are these very wealthy vampires, and Nighthaunt are sort of kind of like for lack of a better word, they're like the middle class of Shaiish, basically. So sometimes the working class, yeah. So brick, and then the Soulblight one has like vines, and the Nighthaunt one has roses, which is like a Lady O thing, Delorum.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You get 3. They work almost exactly the same as when you put the Soulblight ones out. Today's game will have 6 tiny houses. Plus, we're playing on a board with other tiny houses, so there'll be tiny houses all over the board today. Okay, what does it do? Once per turn, you can pick one of them up and teleport it. So that's just super cool for faction terrain. One of them can teleport. Keep in mind that sub-faction, that battle formation we talked about earlier with the...
Hungry Nexus.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, if you are within 3 of this, enemy units can't use commands. We already kind of talked about that. So what you're doing is you are teleporting this during your turn, getting involved in these fights, and then at the end of the enemy turn, you can move this thing 3 inches. So I think its sequencing is a little weird for making that a really valid strategy of shutting down command. And I'm not sure how interesting it is to just be moving Nexus of Griefs 3 inches all game long. But it might be. I don't know. Look what else it does. Here's the nasty one. You can pick 1 Nexus of Grief, and then pick 3 Nighthaunt units, wholly within 3. You either heal D3, or you return D3 models. Okay. This is really good for 2 reasons. One, most Nighthaunt model stuff that sucks to have to interact with is 1 wound. And so that's Harridan's and Bladegeist Revenants. And this one can add back when they're in combat. So just to be clear, that's No Rest for the Wicked, 3 plus D3. That's this, D3, and that is Spectral Lore, which is one of their spells, D6. So this is really frustrating if you cannot clear out a unit of Harridans or Bladegeist Revenants. You get down to 2, 3, 4, 5, something that's really hard to do against an army with a 4-up invuln save. Your opponent on their turn could be bringing back easily 15 Nighthaunt to one unit.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
You've got to finish off units in this army. If you cannot finish off units, you are in big trouble.
Yeah.
It's good. It's really good. It's one of the best faction train pieces around. Period.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah. It is not hard to destroy. We don't have its stats here. It has one worse save than the Soulblight one. The Soulblight one is 4s with a 6-up ward. The Nighthaunt one is 5s with a 5-up ward. So 5s and 5s.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. 8 health each. So kind of cool. Also, currently no way to bring one back. The Soulblight have at least like an artifact or something that lets them bring one back, I think, at least once per game, maybe more than that. The Nighthaunt don't have that. So you can pull these down pretty easily, to be honest with you. And I think you should be. If you're playing against Nighthaunt, you should aim to be tearing these down. Yeah. Okay. Thoughts. Feelings. This was a doozy.
I said it already, but I see what you have, and I want it for myself. This is what I want to see for the factions who are, scrounging at the bottom. Obviously, I was joking about Slaves of Darkness. Slaves of Darkness don't need this type of glow up, but this kind of power spike is what I want to see in KO. I know KO is also like kind of an annoying a faction to play against, but I want to see some buffs to the unplayed parts of KO.
Well,
like this.
With KO and Nighthaunt, I was thinking about this the other day. They are annoying to play against, and what makes them annoying to play against is that they're not an army archetype, right? They're not glass cannons. They're not beat sticks. They're not hammer and anvil elite, anything like that. They are unique mechanics that are not shared by other armies, right? And whenever you have an army like that, people who especially don't play those armies or interact, get annoyed. They're like, oh, you're not Nurgle. You're not just going to stand there and I wail on you. Because I have tricks for that. Oh, you're not Daughters of Cain. You're not fast and punchy, but I can, shoot the unit down to half size. Instead, you're weird. I have to uniquely. My Ren doesn't interact.
Because you're weird.
My Ren doesn't interact with you. Well, shit. I've got good Ren. It's gone. It's wasted. Oh, you're KO. Half your army picks up and leaves when I get near it. Right. But these are important.
Or they drop in your face and blast you to pieces.
Right. Exactly. Right. But can I fight back? No, it's not the fight.
No.
Phase. They did that in the shooting phase. Right. So yeah, it's asymmetric. So those armies are important in a game where you have 24 armies. You need unique standouts like this. Tzeentch is another one.
But I would like to see some the equivalent style glow ups in areas that are. It's what they're doing. I don't even know why I'm saying that's what I want. They did exactly this. They looked at a unit that needed help. That's cool, and they gave it what it needed to definitely get play now. I feel like we didn't quite see that in Stormcast. I feel like we didn't quite see that in Skaven. Really,
well,
they didn't really.
The bell, I think did. I think
the bell. The bell. So I want to see that going forward. More this style, less AOS, less Stormcast style updates.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Stormcast one has been one of the weaker ones so far. And the other kudos to them for this, I will say, is the introduction of a battle formation that's oh wow, we in my opinion, Vanishing Phantasm, Deathstalkers, and Procession of Death, if you want to take a Black Coach, which now you're going to want to take a Black Coach, are all really good. But they still managed to introduce a new battle tactic, a new battle formation, that you're oh, wow, I think that's up there. I think that's going to compete.
Yeah.
Whether the moving Nexus of Grease is good or not, I don't know. 3 inches might not be enough. They might have almost nailed that if they had done 6 or 9 inches, I think. Or teleport 2 a turn instead of just 1.
Yeah,
but
I could see that.
I think they didn't quite get it with the 3-inch thing. But I don't know because it's very new and I'm still even learning how a Nexus of Grief works.
Yeah, better be safe with that kind of thing. It's not often you see moving terrain.
Yeah. Because worth pointing out, I mean, like, yeah, they can block things. I mean, you could good Nighthaunt players are going to use these to block movement.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. We did it.
We did.
We don't always run our man drill, thank you, on these shows, but we're going to run it today. A quick reminder that, in about 57 minutes, John and I are going to play a game. Meg will be there producing. We're pretty excited for it. Lots of new Soul Blight, double Black Coach.
We did have a super chat from Liberty.
Oh, we did.
That we forgot to address
a super chat from Liberty. I think he said only nerfs. Honestly, this looks like a fun update. Yeah, it's a fun update.
Yes.
And listen, you know what? To be fair, Nighthaunt have not shaken off their maligned, their kind of maligned reputation from starting, but they have fallen pretty far down. If you kind of look at like the current like
what people
rates,
are taking the meta,
they're bad. They're not doing well right now. So this is helpful, I think. Thank you, Liberty, for the support as always. Yeah, we'll be seeing you guys in about an hour. Be thinking about your favorite vampire movie, by the way. Okay. Did we do it, Suri?
We did it. We'll be back tomorrow for Cities of Sigmar.
Whatever that means.
Matt Rose, it's like he just said it. He didn't even.
They're like, Matt, before you go home for the weekend, what's the teaser? He's like, I don't know.
He's like, I don't know, man. Just say what it is.
I'm so sick of this shit. I'm so sick of this every day.
Just fucking sick of teasing. It's obvious what it is anyway.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you in about an hour. Bye, folks.
Yeah, bye.